we've got some issues here because, there's rumors that are circulating about President Trump considering a potential pardon for Derek Chauvin. He's obviously we all know he's the officer that was convicted in George Floyd's death. So there's a couple of key points here. So Tim Walz, who's Minnesota governor, he ran for vice president, was preparing for potential unrest. Now, I don't think that there was an official request for a pardon that had been made. But you also have to remember that this is one of the most highly politicized events in U.S. history, right? It started the Summer of Love. Remember all the protests and of course the riots that happened over the summer of 2020. But Chauvin is serving concurrent federal and state sentences. So I think even if he's pardoned, he still has to do his state sentences anyway, right? So let's go over here. This is KSTP.com. So Minneapolis and state leaders prepare for possible Derek Chauvin pardon. Multiple sources told 5 Eyewitness that Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota National Guard, Mayor Jacob Frey, and Hennepin County Sheriff Dwana Witt had all been briefed on preparations for possible civil unrest if President Donald Trump pardons former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin for his federal conviction of killing George Floyd. When asked by the White House reporters in March about pardoning Chauvin, President Trump replied, "No, I have not heard about that." Now, I haven't really heard about that either. I think this is something that brewed online. It was probably, I don't know, somebody was probably throwing ish against a wall to see if it sticks, right? Because you can't let a good crisis go to waste, shall we? Sources also told KSTP that Minnesota Department of Corrections is ready to pick up Chauvin at federal penitentiary to bring him back to Oak Park Heights prison in Minnesota to serve the remainder of his 22-and-a-half-year sentence. He's currently in federal prison in Texas. Over the weekend, Attorney General Ellison told MSNBC that Chauvin will not be set free. I mean, I don't know what to say about this because I don't know if we really want a repeat of what happened in 2020. I don't think we do. And I don't think he's used all of his abilities and his lawyers. I don't think he's used his lawyers. Let me think here. I don't know. I just don't think it should happen. He needs to go through the proper processes and just go from there. All right. So this is from Fox 9. Trump pardon of Derek Chauvin unlikely. MPD says no credible information. So let's hear what they have to say about this as we wait for the commercials.
When you're with Grand Casino, points, perks, and privileges come faster than those other casinos. Same play, better perks. Grand Casino.
Come There we go.
Just that, as I have stated previously, a frustration that I've had over the last 3 years that I've been here is that we have very, very real challenges around crime in this city and ensuring that we're able to provide safety. And those are having an effective police department is absolutely necessary. It's not sufficient in and of itself, but it's absolutely necessary to address those really, really urgent needs that our residents have been dealing with. And so, I have felt like at times it's almost controversial to even acknowledge that policing in and of itself is essential, that having effective policing is essential for so many of our residents who are so, who are hardest hit by just the level of crime and violence we've experienced in recent years.
Well, of course. Of course, there's a lot of violence.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
I mean, I think you've almost defunded the entire department, right? What did you think was going to happen?